When America entered the 1920s, something strange was happening. Alcohol was banned, but people still wanted to drink. This was the beginning of the Prohibition era. And in every big city, there was a new kind of criminal, the bootlegger. They sold alcohol illegally, and they made a lot of money. But they needed a powerful weapon to protect their business, the automobile. In Chicago, New York, and Detroit, gang leaders discovered the perfect car, the Ford V8. It was faster, stronger, and more reliable than most cars on the road. Bootleggers used it to carry alcohol across state lines, outrunning the police. The V8 became the heartbeat of the criminal business. Speed meant survival. If a gang could outrun the cops, they'd live to make more money. The most feared man in Chicago, Al Capone, was said to favor powerful rides. Some of his Cadillacs were armored, bulletproof. But in the early days, it was the Ford V8 that was the real hero. It allowed trucks filled with liquor to move at night, slipping through back roads and highways before the police could react. Law enforcement officers themselves admitted they couldn't keep up. Criminals were always one step ahead, thanks to their cars. The Mafia's cars became extensions of their power, rolling offices, hidden vaults, and getaway machines all in one. The Ford V8 was more than a vehicle. It was a symbol of rebellion. To the public, it looked like just another car. To the underworld, it was the reason their empire grew so quickly. Every bootlegger wanted one. Every cop feared chasing one. The balance of power was shifting, and Detroit's assembly lines were fueling crime across America. The streets of Chicago told the story best. Roaring engines echoed through the alleys as deliveries were made. Gang wars often ended with drive-by shootings from the comfort of fast-moving cars. The Mafia was not just controlling liquor. They were controlling speed. In the eyes of the people, cars became tied to fear. A black sedan pulling up on a quiet street could mean trouble. By the end of the 1930s, the image of the Mafia and powerful cars was permanently linked. The Ford V8 became a legend, not only in crime history, but in American history. It marked the first chapter of a dangerous love affair between the Mafia and automobiles. Every era would bring new favorites, but the foundation was already built. The message was clear. Without the right car, even the most powerful gangster was vulnerable. With the right car, he was untouchable. Welcome to my channel. The 1950s and 1960s were different times for the American Mafia. After the end of Prohibition, the gangsters shifted their focus from bootlegging to gambling, nightclubs, and casinos. Cities like New York, Chicago, and Las Vegas became their new stomping grounds. This era marked a shift in the Mafia's priorities. They needed cars that projected wealth, respect, and untouchable authority. Enter the Cadillac Fleetwood. With its long, luxurious design, the Fleetwood became the preferred car of Mafia bosses. Its massive doors and wide body provided the perfect cover for hiding men, weapons, and money. In Las Vegas, Cadillacs rolled up in front of the casinos every night, carrying gang leaders who controlled the Strip. These cars were more than just a means of transportation. They were a statement of power. Chicago's streets were filled with black Cadillacs, each one linked to a figure the police could never fully control. The detectives knew better than to follow them. Inside those cars sat men who could bribe judges, silence witnesses, and eliminate rivals. The Cadillac's quiet engine made it perfect for blending in, while its sturdy build offered the ultimate protection against any ambush. New York's families used the Fleetwoods for meetings and long drives to their hidden estates. In Las Vegas, they transported cash straight from the casinos to underground vaults. The Cadillac also carried a certain level of respectability. Presidents rode in them, businessmen admired them, and celebrities bought them. For the Mafia, it was the perfect disguise. A Cadillac in front of a theater or club never raised suspicion. But behind those tinted windows, plans were being made that shaped the underworld. The car's size gave the Mafia confidence. It was hard to imagine a surprise attack when you were surrounded by steel, leather, and loyal bodyguards in the back seat. Police grew frustrated as they could track the movements of these vehicles, but never break the power that resided within. A Cadillac meant the man inside was protected, not just by his gang, but by the image of wealth and success that America revered. It was almost ironic that the same car admired by law-abiding citizens was also the favorite shield of criminals. By the 1960s, the Mafia had grown richer and bolder. Their cars were no longer just tools. They were thrones on wheels. And the Cadillac was the crown jewel of them all. What were the best cars for the Mafia? It's a strange question, but the 1970s brought a new chapter in Mafia history. America was changing. Drugs replaced liquor as the biggest business, and the Mafia adapted quickly. With cocaine and heroin flooding the streets, profits exploded. But with bigger money came bigger risks. The police were stronger, the FBI was smarter, and rival gangs were more violent. To survive, the Mafia needed cars that could handle long drives, carry heavy loads, and still look untouchable. One of the favorites of this era was the Chevrolet Impala. Unlike the Cadillac, which was flashy and large, the Impala blended into American streets. It was everywhere, in family driveways, suburban neighborhoods, on highways. For the Mafia, this was the perfect cover. An Impala parked outside a house didn't raise suspicion. Yet under its hood, it had power and space. The trunks were used to move drugs, cash, and sometimes even bodies. The Impala became the quiet workhorse of organized crime. In cities like Miami and New York, these cars slipped through traffic without drawing attention. Dealers and couriers drove them across state lines, carrying millions in product hidden behind clean upholstery. While police searched for Cadillacs and limousines, the Mafia was already moving shipments in simple Chevrolets. It was the perfect trick: hide in plain sight. But for the bosses, image still mattered. That is where the Lincoln Town Car entered the stage. Long, sharp, and elegant, it gave Mafia leaders a throne on wheels. In the 1980s, men like John Gotti became famous not only for their ruthlessness, but also for their style. The Lincoln Town Car was part of that image. Seen on New York streets, it represented status and authority. Just like the Cadillac before it, the Lincoln became the ride of choice for Mafia royalty. By the 1990s, the golden age of the American Mafia was fading fast. The FBI had launched successful operations, and many high-profile bosses were sent to prison. But even as the power of the Mafia began to shrink, their cars remained unforgettable. From the roaring Ford V8 of the 1930s to the luxurious Cadillacs of the 1950s and the commanding Lincolns of the 1980s, each car carried its own chapter of criminal history. Together, they created a legacy that would never disappear. Hollywood played a massive role in keeping this image alive. Movies like The Godfather, Goodfellas, and countless crime dramas cemented the link between the Mafia and their cars. Whenever audiences saw a shiny black Cadillac rolling down a street, they instantly thought of mob bosses and secret deals. The connection between organized crime and automobiles became permanent in American culture. Even today, directors still place these cars in films to signal power, danger, and mystery. But it was not just movies. In real life, the legend of these cars carried forward. Collectors hunt for old Cadillacs and Lincolns, once linked to Mafia history. Museums display vehicles said to have belonged to infamous bosses. Car shows feature restored models that once terrified entire neighborhoods. What was once a symbol of fear is now a piece of American history, admired and studied.